Happy holidays. Welcome to Horror Fiend TV Live. It is the three corners of horror, but tonight it's going to be my beer brother. Before we start the show, bro, let's do that shot.
What up, son? Let's do it. Everyone watching, salute. This is
Salute.
for you. Happy holidays. Woo.
Whew, that went down good.
Yeah.
So, welcome. It's going to be a bit different. It's a little two-parter here. We have a review, and then Ricky and I are going to break one of our cardinal rules.
Hold on.
So, make sure that you pour that beer and get ready because we're going to sink our fangs into the shit. There's no editing on that one.
Oh,
We're
I
going
saw
to
that.
sink
Look at
our
you.
fangs. We're going to sink our fangs into another vampire review. So enjoy the fucking show.
Let's go. And with that being said, man, I'm pretty rusty. Let's go. Oops.
Countdown.
We live, motherfucker.
We are.
I think it was a shop.
It's truly frightening.
This is lovely.
Because you're home.
Oh man, I got this. Take a look at me too, man. Yeah. Now.
And yes, sir, as you just saw, we're going to be talking about Salem's Lot tonight. But before we do, a trailer dropped this week, and it's a much anticipated one because we did the first one for Brains and Brews, and we have season 2 coming up, which will have 28 weeks later. And now Stillian is back. We've got a couple other new ones to add to the cast, but we're going to watch this trailer together for the first time. So if you have not watched it, we're all going to get a first reaction review to this. So let's enjoy this.
Well, before you get into that, some context here. I don't watch trailers. I don't watch them at all.
I stopped because of you.
This is for the channel. I don't watch trailers, but let's do it for this because I think it'll be fun. It'll give us a little something different to dig into. But before we start, let's grab these chats here. What up? What's up, guys? Diana Gabriel, what's going on, Di? What's up? Selena V, happy holidays. Happy holidays. Thanks for tuning in. Hey, fellas. Adam, what's up, bro?
Hey.
Yeah, happy holidays, Adam. Let's go. And I watched them. Yeah. Okay. I mean, people do watch trailers. A lot of people do. Let's be real. I don't like watching trailers because if I go into a movie theater and you watch the trailer, trailers now show you everything essentially.
Almost
all
everything.
the money shots are in there. And if you go in there without watching trailers, you go in there fresh, you see those money shots for the first time. So you're like, holy shit, this is awesome. But yeah, let's do it, bro. You're ready.
When there's one that comes on and it's a movie I want to see, I literally cover my ears and I put my head down. I tell Adam, let me know when it's done so I can look up. Or
Bro,
I will leave and go to the bathroom, go do something during the trailers. But
I time it perfectly to walk into a theater and sit down as the trailers end. So
well,
it doesn't always work though, unfortunately.
Because when we did Heretic, I found out that it's easy to do that if you buy your seats ahead of time and you're not trying to get in there to try to get the good seats.
Another also, well, we're gonna be watching 28 years later. Now we do Brains and Brews, which we will be bringing the show back, and we will be talking about 28 weeks later since we did 28 days later. So it's only fitting that we watch the trailer and give our honest opinions. Let's go.
All right. And here we go. I've been looking forward to it. I mean, it's been, what, 20 years since the last one or 15? I'll have to look that up.
God,
but here we go. The 28 years trailer.
Sit here. Auntie, what's going on? Jimmy, sit still, keep quiet, and do not move from this spot.
Little pre-apocalypse here. I like it.
7, 6, 11, 5, 9 and 20 miles today. 4, 11, 1732 the day before. Boot, 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 moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Don't look at what's in front of you. Boot,
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
boot,
Huge
boot.
fan.
Nice. I didn't know he
moving
was
up and
in it.
down
Yep,
again.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Holy shit.
Men
Let's
were
go big up for
mad with
Craven.
watching 'em. There's no discharge
Yeah,
in
hopefully
the war.
Craven won't affect this when it comes out.
If your eyes
Nice.
drop,
Ooh, we
they
got
will
some
get the top
masks.
of you.
You know I love masks, bro. Whoa, was that a giant infected?
Moving up and down again. There's no discharge in the war. Try to think of something different. Oh,
The imagery,
That
bro.
was Liam Neeson, I think.
Was it? Oh no. Whoa. I seen that image online.
7, 6, 11,
God,
5,
dog.
4.
I like it. It's short. They didn't reveal too much. I did
No.
that. It's a
I
teaser,
like
I'm
the,
assuming, right?
The background, whatever the commentator was, I like
Yeah,
that
yeah.
because it just, instead of you hearing that, you heard some of the action, but like,
What
yeah,
was
no, that
cool
was pretty
about it
cool.
was it added to the immersion and it added to like the anxiety levels, bro. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, I was
kept repeating
holding my
itself.
breath. I'm like holding my breath, and I can feel that I'm like shallow breathing.
Adam says, "Good thing I'm old. I forget by the time it comes out." You know what? Yeah, I can see that. I mean, I'm the same way, bro. P Rockzilla, what up, son? The Teletubbies were the
Teletubbies.
scariest part to me.
That's what
Yeah, I was
that's
gonna
what
point that
laughed
out.
at.
I was gonna point that out. That shit was kind of creepy, man. Teletubbies, the motherfuckers are scary, bro.
Yeah, I did
What
know
you
that.
thought, bro?
I
What's your
like
reaction. Talk to
the
me.
only thing I did know, I did already know, is they showed that image and people were automatically assuming that that's Cillian Murphy's like character.
Yeah, that's all
I
over.
saw the picture of the actor. It's not, no, it's just, it's a zombie.
Where
At
did
least
where did we leave off with his character?
after? So
he wasn't in 28 weeks later.
no, he
'cause
was
I
not in
haven't seen
28
that one in
weeks.
forever.
They
No.
they ended up he ended up rescuing the I can't remember the characters' names, but the young girl and the other woman that he was traveling with.
Naomi.
that-
That's
Naomi, I think it was Naomi.
Yeah.
And the prisoners were going to try to basically, use them to create population,
yeah.
and then they let loose the zombies in there,
Oh,
pretty much
whoa,
annihilated everybody.
whoa. They're not zombies. They're infected. They're
They're-
crazy
yes,
people.
They're with rage. They're infected with rage. So, yeah, I liked it. I mean, it, like you said, it didn't show a lot. It kind of did give me a little Walking Dead vibes, when you saw the what everybody's job was in the community.
Yeah.
It made me think of The Walking Dead, like everybody
Yeah.
had their own job within the community.
It's interesting because if you think about it, that's almost a natural progression, right?
Mhm.
If you're in this situation, and remember, this is years of talking about into this infection, and I think communities are starting to come together and try to maybe, I don't know, recreate or just bring back life within this world now that's totally fucked up. And of course, it's not gonna work out that way because there's no way you could have a life. These ain't walkers. They're infected. These motherfuckers run.
Well, they
They're
run. Yeah,
aggressive. They're strong. They're more intelligent. You know what I mean? So I dug it. I like the fact that they didn't show too much. It kept it pretty simple and it got to the point. The voiceover was cool because man. I mean,
his
it was kind of
anxiety.
it made you It's all like set up a lot and it gets you. It's that dread feeling that goes up your spine, bro. So I think they did pretty good with that. It gave me some Fallout vibes a little bit, and they got bigger infected. Did I see right? Was that like a bigger one? I'm not gonna
Huge,
watch the
dude.
trailer again. That's it. I'm
No,
done. But
It was probably like some 6'6" dude.
that was a
infected.
big motherfucker, bro.
But the first one came out in 2003.
Yeah, it was
So,
creepy. Although I used to.
here
like
we are,
Teletubbies.
21 years later.
All right, let's get some more of these kind of dope trailer. I'm looking forward to the movie even more now. Yeah, man, this is a movie, man. I am definitely excited. And when I found out that Danny Boyle was involved in it, it's game
Well,
on.
and Alex Garland, because Alex Garland was
Yes.
part of the first.
He-
So
he-
you
yes.
reunited both of them together again.
Absolutely.
And I mean, you couldn't top. I mean, 28 Days Later is one of the hardest ones to top.
Yeah. Linz, how you doing, Linz? I like how
Hey,
the trailer
Linz.
is. I like how the trailer is mostly just visuals, hardly any dialogue, so it doesn't give much away. Thank you. That's true. That's what I mean. It gives you enough to know what's going on, but it doesn't give you enough context to put it all together. I dig that. Thanks for that comment. Hope you're doing good, Linz. Sorry I missed you for the last one.
Oh, she's gonna be here for Nosferatu. So
Nosferatu. All right, cool,
yeah,
cool.
she's joining us for that one.
It should be fun. And
The
Zelina,
voiceover, yes, yeah, totally.
It was like a PSA, almost in a way, you know, and it does gives off that end of the world vibe, doesn't it?
Well, because when it was counting down, I was waiting because I felt like there was a countdown happening, so I was waiting for like some explosion or something to hit you like right at the end, but it just kind of, I liked how it ended. Like it was a great trailer.
And like One last thing about it too. What I liked about the fact that this is a this is a movie that a lot of people are anticipating, right? And I like that they didn't try and assemble it with a whole nother team just for a cash grab. They waited this long for all the stars to align. Essentially, you got Alex Garland, you got Danny Boyle. I mean, I just saw. I didn't know Aaron Taylor Johnson was the star of the movie at all. That's pretty cool.
That I did know. I will admit, I try not to research too much, but I did know that he was in it. Actually, let me see who else is in it.
Yeah, before we start on the review for Salem's Lot, pull up the cast. Let's go over that real quick. Spend a few minutes on that because I love, you know me.
So, it wasn't Liam Neeson, it was Ralph Fiennes.
Oh, you know what? Good shout, because them two, they do kind of go hand in hand, and the way they portray certain roles.
Because they had the hair was short, so it threw me off. So all right, so you have got Jodie Comer. If most people know her from Killing Eve, but she's also done some other movies. You have Cillian Murphy.
Oh, wait a minute, what? He's in it?
Cillian Murphy's in it.
Oh, so
that was one of the first. That was one of the first ones that had when they were starting to announce the cast. He was part of it. That's why
he's not that infected.
No,
he's
and
not
for
that
them to
body.
show that in the trailer,
no,
like, you think they would let us know Cillian's gonna be in it? I think it's really clever that you found somebody
they did that
who you could do the makeup on and make it look like it would be a dead Jim.
Yeah, so we got people like us talking about that shit. Like, was that really him? Nah, but I doubt it. You're right. They're not gonna show him.
No. Jack O'Connell is another character in here, or actor. I don't know if I've seen much with him. Yeah, no, mostly a lot of TV shows. Even though there was one that he did where he played a boxer, that was supposed to be really good. What else we got here? Sometimes internet. Erin Kellyman. Actually, she looks familiar too.
All right.
That's right, yeah, she was in Solo. Yeah, she was in Falcon Winter Soldier. She played Carly.
Oh,
she was.
I know who
she was.
is.
Yeah.
She was. We just saw her, man. We talked about it. She was in Hellboy, bro. She was in the last Hellboy we reviewed.
Well, there you go. So she's in this one.
That's her. Cool.
But yeah, so I wouldn't mind doing that again. I still appreciate going to the movies and being surprised by what I'm going to see instead of seeing the trailers and knowing, because sometimes all the good parts are shown in the trailer, which sucks now. Yeah. You know, so
dude, I haven't seen a trailer. God, dog, I don't remember when is the. I see trailers if I'm not interested in a movie. If I'm not gonna watch it in the theaters, I'll wait till I'll watch the trailer for that. But if it's a movie I know I'm gonna watch anyway, there's no point. I'm sold. You don't have to sell me on the film. You know what I mean? So.
And that's why when I saw the Y2K, I sat for the Y2K trailer because I'm like, yeah, I knew it was gonna be stupid, which is unfortunate for A24 because I think that's like their lowest money making, like
what
lowest.
Y2K? I didn't even hear about. Was that a comedy? What is that?
It's a horror comedy. It's got Rachel Zegler or Ziegler, however you say her name. And the guy that played, I forget what his character name was in Deadpool 2, but the one kid that was trying to go back to school to kill him. It's a horror comedy. It just the trailer I was like, no interest at all. All right, so let's get to our actual review now. So
let's do it, brother.
So for this episode, we'll be talking the Max original. Unfortunately, I would have loved to seen this in the movie theater, so I am behind Stephen King on the fact that this should have been released in the theaters. But it is Salem's Lot 2024. It is written and directed by Gary Dauberman. It is based on Stephen King's book, Salem's Lot. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to read names because my memory is not all that great to remember everyone. But it stars Lewis Pullman, soon to be in Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
As Ben Mears, Mackenzie Lee as Susan Norton, Alfre Woodward as Dr. Cody.
Oh, I love her, man.
She was so good in
She's
this
the
role.
best. Yeah.
Bill Camp as Matthew Burke, and Jordan Preston Carter as Mark Petrie.
Cool.
So, if you're not a huge Stephen King fan, then this is something new for you. If you are a Stephen King fan, I read the book. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to do this review without doing comparisons to the book as well as to the original movie, which was actually a 2-part miniseries that aired on CBS like back in the 80s. I'm not going to do that. I want the movie to stand on its own merit. And I did that, watch the movie. He just said to myself, don't do it. Just sit there and watch the movie without trying to remember what was in the book, what was in the other one. So for me, like my initial, I actually enjoyed it. It had a lot of good little scare things in there. If it wouldn't have been high def, it felt like an 80s movie. And I mean, I guess because it took place in the 70s, but for me, I like the look of the movie. I like the actors in it. My standout is Alfre Woodward's character. I mean, she basically reacted like any normal human being would react in these kind of situations. Yes, and just her reactions were like the way you would like sit there and react. So yeah, for me, I was happy that we squeezed this one in because this was one of my movies that I was looking forward to this year. And we're getting to the end of the year, and I told you guys, I'm like, please, can we do this one? Because it's one of the ones I was looking forward to. And, you know, was it perfect? No. But overall, I didn't have my phone in my hand while I watched it. My mind did exactly what I said. I didn't go back to think about what happened in the book. What, you know, once it finished, I went back to refresh myself, and I actually thoroughly enjoyed some of the changes. I know that some of the hardcore people weren't a fan of the changes. I did. So, what about you? What was when
when you go to changes, are you referring to changes to the book?
Book and the other movie.
Because the movie, and I'll be honest, it was a TV two-parter, like you said. I don't really remember it very much. So, in a way, I'm glad because I went into this fresh. And of course, I never read the book. And I'm glad you did. So now we got somebody who can make these comparisons. Before I get started, let's get a couple more comments here in the chat. Y2K is bad, lol. Oh, how bad is it?
Because, she must have gone and seen it, so
I like it when things get spicy. Yeah, I mean, I honestly never heard of that movie, to be honest with you. I just heard about it now. And Adam, I liked it a lot. Scary, a little cheesy, and it kicked ass. Well, let's talk about that cheese. All right, you ask. All right, my first initial thoughts when I threw this on. Overall, I enjoyed the film. Makeup and effects were nice. I like how they kept it subtle when it comes to the makeup. They didn't try and reinvent the wheel. Barlow looked like Barlow. You know?
Thank you. Yes.
And the only thing I would say, and I don't think it's a fault to the creators, but it did kind of remind me of like the characters from Blade. I think Blade 2, right? It just reminded me of that. But mind you, Barlow was before. I know that. I'm just saying it just reminded me of it. Not that it was trying to copy it. But I like the fact they kept it simple. The characters were really nice. I'm not a fan of kids and children in movies, you know that. But Mark was also. Mark is the exception. He's the exception to the rule. Because this kid, he was like us. He was a horror fiend, bro.
Well, when he did the research. When he went to do the research.
House of Secrets. House of Secrets.
The kid went to comics. I mean, I'm like, dude, he's us at this age.
Immediately, I was like, DC Comics. House of Secrets. And there was another book he referenced. God, dog.
I saw House of Mystery.
It was another EC favorite, but yeah, I dug that a lot. But the only thing I would say, I wish the characters themselves were kind of fleshed out, especially like Mark, for example. Like, why was he so fearless? And the fact that we didn't know too much about him, and we only met his parents literally minutes before their demise.
Yeah.
There's gonna be spoilers here, by the way, so if you haven't seen the movie, check it out. But overall, though, I enjoyed it. I will say this though, I think this would have been better if it was a series. To be honest with you, it did feel kind of rushed, and like I said, the characters, if they were fleshed out more, I think it would have been more of an impact. Like, let's say when I forgot her name, I don't got the cast in front of me, but the female character, the main protagonist, along with Ben, that's his name.
Susan is the girl.
Susan, who's Ben is the main character. That's his name.
Yep,
Ben.
Ben Mears is the writer.
Ben Mears. So Susan, like when she died, I didn't feel anything, and I didn't like. Ben was emotionally like a wreck because he couldn't even kill her, and I'm like, I don't feel it. There's no connection to me. And now if this was a series and they spent like a couple episodes or 2 or 3 or 4, you know, just building that bond, building that relationship over time, I think it would have had more of an impact. And the other characters as well, all the character deaths, they were cool, but it's like I didn't get to spend much time with them. Like Alfred Woodard's death, oh my god, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah, that one was a.
Yeah,
you're like what the fuck.
Overall, first impressions, I enjoyed it, but we'll get into the meat and potatoes of the rest of the film. How about you, brother?
Well, even though I'm said I'm not going to do comparison, what the CBS one had was an extra hour, because since it was done in 2 parts, you know, you watch 2 hour, so you take out commercials on a 2 hour, which actually, so it was a 3 hour movie essentially. Well, this one, I think it clocked in at an hour and 54.
It was almost 2 hours, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's, you know, and the hour and 54, you still have credits in there. You have the beginning, so it's even shorter.
It's still not enough.
Yeah, no. So I agree on that part, because it did rush through it. Like, you wanted to, you knew that Ben and Susan were starting to fall for each other, but you kind of knew that when, you know, they got caught in his room. I mean, and it's like, okay.
That lady was so annoying, so nosy. Why would she say that? Like,
well, it's a B&B, and those are also, this is back in 1970s. You know, they don't want riff-raff or, you know.
It's crazy when you mention that, because it took me forever to realize this is a period film.
It is.
I thought,
and that's what I did like about it, though. For a period film, it felt like the hairstyles, the cars. I love that the drive-in was used as a setting.
Thank you. I was gonna say, if you look at what movies were playing in the drive-in, that's how you know that was a 70s film.
So it was. I like I said, I would have liked the characters fleshed out a little bit more. You know, the reason that you knew Mark was gonna kick ass is because when the bully tried to fuck with him, I think the bully's name was Richie, and I was like, so is this the same Richie? Did they move out of town and go to Castle Rock? Where he became the bully in that town. Because that's another thing when you're watching a movie with Stephen King, is the Easter eggs that are going to be automatically put there. And because I was so focused on wanting to enjoy the movie, I wasn't even looking for the Easter eggs. So that's another sign that you want that you're getting a movie that is trying to entertain you. At the same time, the character should have been fleshed out.
You know what's crazy? I'm gonna say this right now. I don't care. I'll admit it. This town was Jerusalem's Lot, right? I'm wondering why, but then they kept calling it Salem's Lot. I'm like, where did they get Salem from? I'm thinking like Massachusetts, right? Salem, witch trials. What the fuck? And near the end of the movie, when I see the sign, welcome to Jerusalem, whatever, I'm like, wait, Salem is in the fucking oh Jesus Christ.
When he first goes into the sign that you see going out of the town, it's all nice.
Yes,
the sign going into town, the JUR are kind of like,
and that's how I noticed it. And that's how I noticed
Salem's
it.
Lot. No, because I thought the same thing. I'm not gonna lie.
Let me catch up on other chats before you go. Hold on. All right. He gave it a good fight. LOL, love him. This was are we talking about who, Selena? This was a while ago.
Probably Mark.
Mark. Well, Mark didn't die.
Yeah.
Mark's awesome. Mark was the best, man. Mark was cool as hell, man. Oh, my man JR, what up, son? What's up, fellas? Take that vampire. Cheers, my brothers are hard. Cheers, brother.
Cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, why remake move? Wait, why
Hashtag
make?
why remake?
Oh,
Why make remakes?
oh, why make remakes? Yeah, yeah, yeah. This is interesting because this was based on a TV two-parter, kind of like It, you know. So this will get a little past me, but you're right. I think this would have been better suited as a series. I still stick to that. Spoiler alert: Krampus coming to Three Corners Live. Joe, tell us when is it? Next week?
Next week.
I just saw it recently. Oh man, I showed it to my dad, bro. Such
He
a
loved it,
good
right?
movie. It's so fun. It doesn't take itself seriously.
JR, since you're watching, you gotta dress festive, bro.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like our Christmas one.
Look,
So
you can't see, but I got
no
my
black
Michael,
hoodie.
I
I know. I gotta.
Michael Myers.
I have my outfit for next week, so if y'all know me, I'm a little bit extra.
Damn, Patriot Santa hat. Oh,
Mhm.
that's some fighting words right there, brother. Hope you're doing good, brother. All right, man. So, yeah, move it along. Let's do. Where we at?
And you had mentioned Barlow earlier,
Yeah,
and
talk about him.
that was the one thing I will say. The Barlow look was a good throwback to the cover of the book. They didn't make him, and because it was when they did show the reveal, unfortunately, you know, sometimes the brain works on its own, even though you tell yourself don't do this, and it'll go into the file and pull up the picture of what Barlow looked like in the CBS. And honestly, it wasn't that much more different. I still like the Barlow look, you know, the old one, because you know, one of the things that sometimes people forget is that with the older movies, is the aesthetic of it. It wasn't shot in HD, so it's a little bit more blurry. It's a little bit. It's that old school horror.
It's shot on video too. Like those movies that are made for film, they're shot on video. So you're gonna get that grainy, the noise in the film. I like that. That's personal.
Yeah. So like this one, because it's HD, you know, it's a little more clearer. You know, you can notice a little bit more. But I thought the effects on them were great. I liked the effects also on the other vampires. I liked that they didn't go, you know, make them turn into like, you know, vampires in like 30 Days of Night, or, you know, the ones that you mentioned, Blade 2, the ones that had the Reaper virus. You know, it was still simplistic. Barlow was the only one that looked a little bit more, you know, because Barlow's character, I've always thought, was a kind of a throwback or a nod to Nosferatu. As I said earlier, coming also, and Linzar will be joining us for that one. But Barlow had always, for me, given me the Nosferatu look, you know. So I thought when Stephen King wrote the book, that's, you know, this is what he envisioned as a vampire. And I'm not saying he ripped it off, but you know, for him, he liked the look of Nosferatu. It's an ancient-looking vampire, and I'm glad they still stuck to that. You know, and when the whole town folk started turning, I you know, even liked that the town folk still just looked like normal human people, you know, except for they were pale because they were dead.
It gave me like 30 Days and Nights feel,
yeah,
where the whole town is gone.
It showed up. Oh my god.
Yeah.
No lie, I would have shit my pants at that moment.
Shut them pants. You don't want a shirt, brother.
What'd you? Because you mentioned Barlow's look. What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. I'll be honest. When I was a kid, Salem's Lot always scared me because of Barlow. Mm-hmm. I was young. I seen Nosferatu probably just in passing. I never saw the movie when I was a kid. So to me, Barlow was that essential vampire that scared the hell out of me. Something about that bald head, pointy ears, sharp teeth,
and the eyes.
Them eyes, man. I like how the vampires were portrayed in this film, though. I like how they were kept in the shadows on the rooftops when they looked up and
standing there
hanging out.
That did give me 30 Days of Night. I think about that also, when they're just like, it's like they took over the town.
And the approach to the makeup was like this minimalist approach to it. Again, they didn't try too hard. They just a couple contact lenses. And I like, there was a scene there when the character, the school teacher, I forgot his name, when he's trying to close the window and you see that dude Mike behind him, and his eyes, if you see his eyes, they transition and then they go right back to human eyes. You blink and you miss it. That was such a great touch. And I love the fact when the other kid, I don't know if it's the brother that was kidnapped, the first kid, I don't know, I forgot his name.
Richie.
Was it
and-
Richie or Randy? The first kid that was abducted. This movie's still fresh to me, so I don't know all the names off the top of my head. You got it, Joe the
So
psychologist.
Danny was the one that got turned.
Danny
so-
was the one that got turned. It's his brother.
so-
It's with an R. It ain't
I think
Ricky
it was
Grimes, bro.
Richie.
Was it Richie the bully?
Or was it
I don't
Ricky?
know. It doesn't
Was it
matter.
Richie
No,
or Ricky?
no,
Hold
hey,
on.
I'm Ricky.
Now it's driving
Chill,
me
bro.
nuts. It was Ralphie.
It's you, Ralphie.
It was Ralphie.
When Ralph, a Christmas story. Ralphie, when he was abducted, and you see the two, him and his brother, the silhouettes in the darkness, and you see, what's his name, Straker, is it?
Straker.
Comes behind and abducts him, bro. And it's just the silhouettes. I'm like, that's fucking cool. That's cool.
And remember, Straker is a familiar, so
he's
he doesn't
a familiar.
have
He's a
he doesn't have any vampire powers.
No.
So just the way it was done,
See,
I thought it was.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is one of my nitpicks on it. I wanted these characters again, as opposed, just like the antagonist or the protagonist. I wanted the antagonist to also have a bit more of a fleshed out storyline because I wanted to know about, you know, Straker. I wanted to know more about Barlow. Like where's he? Where did he come from? How did he get, like, why did he pick this town? Yes, the town is dying, but what does that mean? In a sense, you know, like,
There was
are
a
they
deal.
easy to prey upon? Like, you know what I mean?
The way
And-
that what I figured out from the movie is because it's been years since I read the book. I probably haven't seen the original movie since like the 90s.
Yes.
But I think that so the Marston the Marston guy who owned the house that ended up killing his family was friends or in communications with Barlow. And that's how Barlow was able to get Marston's house.
He bought the house that nobody was able to acquire, right? Yeah,
but
yeah.
but they had known each other. By the way, did you recognize who Straker or no?
I do. Oh man, I don't know the actor by name. Is he from a TV series?
Yes.
Give me a clue. I know. I was watching. I'm like, I know this motherfucker.
God, it's
I
gonna be
know
really
this
hard.
motherfucker.
All right.
Who is he?
How about this? In the series, he commanded boats into battles.
Oh, Game of Thrones?
Yep, you're on
Yes.
Greyjoy.
Yes.
You're
Greyjoy.
Yeah.
Yes, the brother.
Mhm.
The one I forgot their names, but he's the one
You're
that
on.
killed his own brother
Yes.
to take over the
Yep.
Greyjoys.
That was
Yeah, I
him.
knew
I thought he did a
recognized-
good job.
I knew I recognized him.
I thought he did a good job.
I
And-
wanted
and I-
more of him, bro. Then he
Well,
just got.
That's good. I was gonna say that because you just said that. When after he had kidnapped Mark, you know, and he's like, "Oh, you're gonna enjoy meeting him," and blah blah blah, and like Mark had gotten away, and fucking Mark
Mark's
wailed.
a
And
badass, bro.
he like when he did that, I'm like, this little fucking kid.
That's when I said to myself, okay, wait a minute. This kid, this dude never was afraid. He was hanging upside down like fucking Luke Skywalker on Hoth. Escapes, grabs a weapon, kills a fucking grown ass adult, and runs out. And he bludgeons him like fucking Negan.
Yeah. And he
Like,
walked into the church
he
covered in
walked-
blood.
Yeah.
He's like,
You know what? I'm gonna
I
go
just need a
kill
couple
Barlow.
things.
Yeah.
So he's like filling the cup with the holy water, and I'm like, this
Man, I'm like,
fucking kid is badass.
He's one of my favorite child characters, I think, because he was so like different. He was never helpless. He didn't play a child character. He played an adult character, but in a child's body. If that makes any
Yeah.
sense, you know.
It does. It does.
But one thing was when his parents were killed, though, I wanted more an emotion out of him. He just went on about his day. Okay, let me just continue killing these vampires. You know what I mean?
It was like literally like right when he left the note, and then you see him trying to find him. That's when he probably saw the emotion. I will say, because of the one unfortunate, I think anybody who was seeing this movie is going to sit there and think about is pretty much the scene that traumatized. Because what did I say? It's like 1984, 85, right?
The OG,
Yeah.
early '80s.
Hold on.
I'm not sure off the top
I'm gonna
of
look
my
it up
head.
real quick.
What it is. Yeah, look it up, man. Look it up. I like to. Why don't you just ask Alexa like you do when we.
Jesus Christ! So it was a lot. We were really young when that came out. Hold on,
Was it? It's not a '70s film, is it?
dude. It was 1979.
Ooh, the year. I
Jesus
was
Christ,
born.
parents! What was wrong with you for letting us watch? I remember seeing this when it came out. So I was
That's before my time. Wait, what month? Does it
79.
say?
So I was 7 years old when I saw this. No,
How old were you?
wonder I was 7. I was born in 72.
I wasn't
came out
even
in
born yet.
79. Like, so yes. So all right. So for most people, who had seen this, I guess now that I realize how young I was, one of the scenes that pretty much stuck to everyone was when what's his name, Danny. When Danny shows up at the window.
Oh, when he's levitating.
I sat there and I go, oh, what the one out of anything that doing this movie, the one thing that you have the largest shoes to fill in the Stephen King movie is the scene when Danny shows up. Every kid was fucking traumatized to see a little boy vampire floating in the fog in the window. I mean, it stuck with everybody. So when the scene came up, I enjoyed the scene.
It did look paranormal because it reminded me of, like, if you watch, any of those like fact or fiction type shows, and they show paranormal photos that they're trying to debunk, and they show, oh, that's a ghost. All you see is like someone floating, or like just the eyes. That's what you saw. You saw an apparition almost. You see the smoke, and all you see is his eyes are glowing. Yeah. And I like how the fact that they took all the vampire powers into account. Like, for example, they can seduce you. They can make you do things. I like that, and the fact that their eyes glaze over white, it gives you that. That's like the. It gives you the impression of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? They could control you, like when Mark opens the window, and then Danny comes in. You know, that's pretty cool. That
it's called the glamoring.
Yeah, nice.
Glamour.
Nice.
When you see the white, it's
good show. I was
trying to remember because that's the other part that was what I found to be grounded as far as in the vampire folklore, is that, you know, when they were trying to figure it all out and they talked about all the stuff that works against vampires, you know, and as you said, like the way that the vampires look, it was very grounded. It didn't go over the top. They didn't want to show you some little kid, you know, when Mark fought Danny, Mark's mouth wasn't going to open up, you know, it was still.
Yes, I like that. Grounded. It didn't go over the top. They could have if they wanted to. It's, you know how easy
they had
that
normal
is
fangs.
For any young filmmaker coming up to, let's rip his face open and have all these like these tendrils and shit. Nah, man, you don't need that. Just keep it simple.
Yeah, no, it was. I thought, you know, that overall, the vampires really worked when the little kids chased Mark into the treehouse. You know, because again, every rule is they can't enter unless they're invited in.
I like that. I like how the fact that when Mike was invited by the PE teacher, the physical ed guy, I forgot his name.
Mark. Not Mark.
No, that's
Matt.
his real name. Matt. Was it Matt? That's his name, Matt, the character?
Matt Burke. Matthew, but Matt.
So yeah, I like that. That was cool because he invited him in. But one thing I will say, they were really. He's really quick to be like, oh no, he's a vampire. I invited him in. Like, wait a minute, dude, bro, hold on, hold your horses. We don't know this shit. How do you know all this stuff? But again,
turns out he did though. He was knowledge in it. He had all those books. He was one of the ones that had to try to tell everybody, dude, we got vampires in the fucking town here. You know,
you know what I liked about this a lot before? I'm sorry to cut you off. I liked the mystery aspect when things started to go down, when bodies started coming up missing. A lot of deaths all of a sudden started occurring. A lot of weird, abnormal behavior within the townsfolk. I liked all that, and where they're trying to figure out what's happening. But then, like, to me, it felt like it was too quick to be like, vampires. It's vampires. Like, vampires, technically, they don't exist for one. It's like, if like, I hate watching a zombie movie, right? And zombies start coming out, and the characters are like, oh, it's zombies. Like, no, don't call them zombies. You know, I hate that. But the vampires is different, but I wish they weren't so quick to be like, vampires, you know?
But you have to also remember this, it's based on a book that was written back in the 70s. So, you know, back then we had werewolves, vampires, mummies, zombies. When did we get introduced to Night of the Living Dead?
67, I think.
Okay, so we did have zombies, but you know,
well, zombies were. I mean, they predated George, but George turned them into the classic zombie that we know now.
But yeah, so Stephen, when he wrote the book, you know, he's writing about zombies. He wrote this when he was much younger. You know, like the monsters of
and on a lot of peyote.
Well, You know what I did also like when Ben showed up into town and Susan's reading the book.
I like that.
I swear,
yeah.
I think I'm not gonna do it right now.
That
I'll
was
do
a
it
cool
later.
conversation.
But when
his face
he's,
is
you
on
know,
the
they
back
show
of
the book and he's standing there. I'm like, I swear to God that I've seen Stephen King do that position in one of the books that I got from him.
You know what I need in a movie? I need this. I need Louis Pullman and Wyatt Russell together in a fucking movie.
They will.
Bill Pullman and,
gonna be in
Kurt Russell's
Thunderbolts.
son. These guys, they look so much like their dads, bro.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Remember,
not just
they're
the
gonna be
look, but their mannerisms and everything, dude.
They're gonna be in Thunderbolts. Pullman's playing Bob, and then wait. Oh yeah,
You're right.
And Wyatt
You're
is
right.
U.S. agent. They're gonna be
You're
together in the
fucking,
movie.
I swear to God, I knew that, but
You're
I
the
didn't
Marvel
think
guy.
about it.
Yes,
Yeah,
I fucking nailed the Marvel guy.
You're right, yeah.
But yeah, no. So just to wrap up on the vampires.
Go.
Yeah, I get what you're also saying, but again, this is where the movie could have. So here's one of those instances that I am not a fan of long movies. If we're gonna do a movie version, you had two options here. Add another 30 to 40 minutes to flesh out your characters just a little bit more.
Yeah.
Or go the round of it and give us two parts, 2 chapters.
Good shout.
Because this book has so much material, so much source material that you, as you said, you didn't get when the characters' deaths happened, you weren't as invested. When you read the book, you are.
Yeah.
And when you saw the other one, you are. But that's the time crunch that he had in here. So that's where the movie got hurt, you know, it's one of those, we all hate long movies, but then when you have a movie where a source material has a lot where it fleshes out a character and you got to condense this, it makes it really hard for you to connect with the characters. So you know, I do get that. And I would have liked to seen more of Barlow's backstory.
Yeah,
you
I
know.
wanted more Barlow in general because they didn't really show him much in this movie.
No,
to be honest
and
with
I'm glad they showed him early enough in the movie.
Yeah.
But still, like I would have liked, kind of, because it's funny because when it was all happening, it made me feel Voyage of Demeter.
Yeah, I thought about that movie too.
Me too. So when I was watching it, but in Voyage, you got like the whole transport happening, like everything was being fleshed out. So
yeah, but that's such a simple concept. You know, it is. They're transporting Nosferatu, you know, across the fucking ocean. He's in a boat and he just kills everybody. That's a simple story. This here I think to me, I would have preferred this to be like a 7-part series by Mike Flanagan, for example. You know, I think about something like that. I chose Mike because of Midnight Mass. I fucking love that damn series. He kicked ass on it. And if there's anyone that's gonna take a vampire genre and give it, especially like a novel, like he did with the House of the Usher, the Fall of Usher. If someone's gonna take some source material and make a series out of it, I think it's Flanagan. I think he would have killed this fucking series.
Hasn't he done 2? He did Gerald's Game.
He did Gerald's Game, yeah.
And
you mean King, right?
Yeah. Because he loves it. He's a King fan.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, dude. Yeah,
and King was Gerald's Game is. I've read that book.
Great film. One
of the to see it on the screen, I never would have thought that.
Yeah.
Because reading the book, you're like, how is this going to translate into a movie? Because when you read a Stephen King book, you do want to see it as a movie. Yeah. Honestly.
Before we move on from the vampires, the last thing I'm going to say is I bet you a lot of the younger generation are going to watch this. And when Nosferatu coming out, they're gonna be like, "Oh, they bit off these guys. That's fucking Nosferatu," or vice versa.
They're gonna think that, but hopefully they're gonna realize there's like 2 Nosferatu movies that came out. You had the oh my god,
you know what's gonna happen though. The uninformed.
What was the name of the first guy that played him?
Who?
Nosferatu.
Oh, I don't know, man. You mean the black and white film? I have no idea.
Yeah. You had the Shrek. Max Shrek played him in the black and white, and then William Dafoe played him in the movie that was based on making Nosferatu.
What was the name of that movie? He was creepy as hell in that.
He did a great.
I forgot
Nosferatu.
the name of that movie.
Nosferatu. No, wait, hold on.
No, it wasn't Nosferatu.
Oh, because you know what? Hold on. I did William Dafoe, Nosferatu, and I think he's going to be appearing.
While you do that, let me pull up GR here.
Shadow
guy
of the
who
Vampire.
Yeah, that's it. The guy who created the MGM series from, with his cast of directors, would do very well doing this into a series. I haven't seen From, but I heard nothing but good things about it.
You missed a couple of them before that.
Yeah, Adam, right?
Oh.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on. All right, my man. I was surprised how quickly some of them were killed off. Yeah. What was your favorite kill, bro? That's not in the format.
I hate to say this, but it was Dr.
Yes.
Cody.
Yeah,
Because you didn't expect that, and
I'm watching
she literally.
it. I legit, you're like, oh shit, she
Yes!
got fucked up.
It was like because you're sitting there. She goes to Ben. She's like, "I'll do it for you," and she's about to say
Yo.
Susan, and she's like this. All of a sudden, it's like, boom.
You know
and
what
see
got
this-
me? You know what got me? Because when she was gonna, I was like, I know what's gonna happen. The Susan's gonna go rise up and
bite
they're
her.
gonna-
I thought
that. All of a sudden, no, she got blasted.
Dude, oh my
yo.
god!
By
Yeah,
a high-powered rifle.
That was.
I
probably
guess
one of
that
the-
was Danny's mom, right? She became a familiar.
No,
Is that what
Susan's mother.
That was Susan's mother. You're right. The nosy one. poor Father Callan. He was so. Yo, my man was. Yo, he had that flask. He kept hitting that flask.
Well, and what I liked also is
Thanks, Adam.
the crucifix giving you a warning that the vampires were.
That's
around.
cool. And the way it glowed.
And the way it
Nice
glowed.
effect. I
And,
like that.
Like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
whole when Matt like put it to Mike. By the way,
Salute, my brother. Salute. Hold on.
Mike-
We need a shot for this one. We're the home stretch. We're home stretch.
salute.
Salute, Harbor Fiend.
But by the way, Mike Rierson, did you recognize him?
Who?
The one that played Mike Rierson.
No, I did not.
So Mike Rierson appeared.
Have we
in,
seen him?
hold
I've
on,
seen him.
2 M. Night Shyamalan movies.
I wouldn't know. What's up?
He was Bruce Willis' son in Unbreakable,
I would have no
as
way
well
to get
as
that.
adult son in Glass.
Damn. Okay, I seen Glass.
So yeah,
not too
like
long
that.
ago.
So by the
Whoa.
way, that's it. So totally off par.
Here we go. Yeah. I hope you took a shot, P Rock, my man.
But totally
Bucks
off
of
par
course.
when Gladiator 2 came out. That the guy Spencer Treat Clark. Sorry if I got your name wrong. I know it's those three, but he played the little boy that eventually becomes the Gladiator in Gladiator 2. So it's like he's been around for a while. But when I saw him there, I'm like, oh my god, it's the little kid from
Let me ask you,
Unbreakable. And then you go, wait, well, it's actually the adult from Glass.
Would you want his job as a guy who just digs up?
Are you kidding me? No.
I mean, it must be pretty damn cool, man. It's a chill
no.
job, but I don't want to be.
You want to
burying
be?
dead children and shit. Nah, I'm all set with that. Bro. You got to be real cold-hearted for that.
Have you not seen Night of the Living Dead? Like, you don't want to be at the
Wait, you
fucking
asking
cemetery.
me? Have I seen that?
Well, I know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you're like, would you want his job? You're like, oh, I think it'll be a good job. I'm like, have you not seen Night of the Living Dead? I mean, do you want to work at a cemetery when the dead rise? No, not
Nah,
at all.
I'm all set, brother. I'm all set.
Not at all. All right, so let's go ahead and wrap this one up.
Yep.
Any last little gripes? Anything that really stuck out for you? And obviously the rate.
Mhm. A fun adventure. This is an adventure movie in a sense, and it was very reminiscent too. It reminded me a lot of like the Monster Squad or Fright Night. I don't know what it was. It was just a tone, I guess. It reminded me a lot of those films. Like especially, you know what it is? Mark, the character of Mark, because he was the guy. He was us. He was us. He knew everything because he read comics. He loved horror. He just knew the rules. And I dug that. I love when he did his research and he started. You said it. He went to comic books for the fucking research. But the one thing I will say, what the fuck was up with that rabies shot? If you get bit, how does she know to get a rabies shot? By the way, bro, not too long ago, I had to get a rabies shot. Full disclosure, bro. It wasn't like that. I got mass shots in my arm and mass shots on my skinny ass, bro. My ass cheeks were on fire, bro. It wasn't no one shot like that. Anyway, I'm digressing. Talk to me about that real quick. I didn't like that. That bothered me. Like, what the fuck?
Well, because it was, I guess, She was looking at it.
You're trying.
Well, no.
You try to justify.
Well, no, because it's supposed to ward off an infection. Rabies is an infection. So, you know, again, is it one of those little quick things to throw in there for it to work? For me, it worked because I sat there and I'm like, well, I never would have thought of that.
But that's the point.
Right. So,
she was
a doctor.
Give me the shot. Give me the shot. How did she?
Was.
Well, this is the person that never believed in vampires.
This is, I think, 1975. So they didn't really deal with a whole lot of like the infections and diseases we have now. So the most you probably at that time would have been a dog bit you and you need a rabies shot.
Yeah.
You know, so she just happened to have one at the time. I mean, I see what you're saying, but you have to remember it's a period piece. So it's not like they were dealing with all the shit we're dealing now. Doctors, you know, what was it that she said that everybody was dying of? Anemia, pernicious, or
yeah, when your body can't produce enough red blood cells.
Yeah, and when she said, I mean, like pernicious, I'm like, that was that beer that I
oh
drank
my
with.
God, Jesus Christ! I swear to you, I'm not lying. When I heard that word, I thought about you, bro. I was like, that's that beer, fucking.
Yeah, I was like pernicious. I'm like, well, that beer did not turn
out
out well for me that night. So I guess I see why.
Brother, I said the same shit. I was like, pernicious.
Well, let's cheers for that though.
I've only heard that word once. That was by you, and this is the second time. Cheers, my brother.
Cheers for that one.
Cheers, pernicious.
But yeah, no.
Let me finish up real quick.
Well,
I'll give it to you.
Finish what you were saying. I think it was just something they threw in there. You know, it's the doctor who's trying to figure this shit out, you know. So I honestly
but the fact that it worked, I'm like, oh no.
I know, but you know what? As quickly as it happened and then it went away, and when Susan got bit and she was already reacting, and then she said it's too late because
she was already she waited too long.
Whatever the infection was that the rabies is going to give you.
Let me ask you, was that in the book? The rabies shot?
I was trying to remember that, and I don't remember, to be honest with you.
All right. Well, the one thing I will say, though, and I know you're gonna agree, we touched upon it a little bit when Ben's character noticed there's no cars anywhere, and they were like, "Well, where would all these vampires converge to?" And I thought the driving. That's the ultimate Chekhov's gun because they spent so much time. Remember?
Time in the driving, yeah.
Yeah. Because remember when they sell, you know, oh man, there's no parking here, you know, it's packed. So okay, they're gonna go to the drive-in, but when I saw the cars, I was like, they're in the cars. That's awesome. That's awesome. That was awesome. I dug that a lot. And the kills were pretty good. Like the sheriff. Oh, I cannot forget the great William Sadler, bro.
I know.
He was in this.
He's like, I'm getting the fuck out.
He's like, no, you should do the same.
With the doctor, she's like, what are you doing? I'm getting out. Like, do you not see what's going on? I can't help with this shit. I'm getting the fuck out of here, dude. That was the most realistic reaction of a small town cop that I can see.
Thank you. He was so logical, and that's what most people would be doing.
He didn't go, let's go get the guns and take
No, this ain't Mark. You get the youngest character in this movie is fucking Rambo, and then the oldest guy in this fucking movie, he's fucking, I'm out of here. I'm out. I'm done.
Well, and I love when Ben goes, when he's like,
the juxtaposition was crazy.
When Ben asked Dr. Cody about the sheriff, and all of a sudden gets thrown through the window. Adam goes, well, there's the sheriff.
Well, that's what I mean. That death was cool. That death was cool.
It was. But
there wasn't many, but the deaths that were there, as far as, you know, like showing you the murder, it was good. It was cool. I like that. And the last thing, it's an entertaining movie, but the only thing is devoid, to me, in my opinion, is devoid of substance. You know, I wanted these characters to be fleshed out, so when the major moments happen, you feel it. You know, you feel it. Like, for example, if this was a series, I think Ben and Mark could have been more at odds to start, right? And then by the end of the series, when they're the last two survivors, it would be so much more of a gut punch when Susan dies, for example. But other than that, the mystery was cool, but it didn't go far enough for me. That's the only thing. My rating for this is a 3.5. It's very entertaining, and it's almost 2 hours, but it doesn't drag. No, it keeps it. But to me, if they would have fleshed out the characters more, it would have been a bit of a higher score. So I think everyone, if you haven't had a chance to watch it, I definitely recommend it. But just go in knowing it has flaws, but it's entertaining. Put it that way. You're not gonna go out and you're not gonna feel like you wasted your time. There's movies that you be disappointed with, and you're like, oh, what a waste, you know. Even this one, if you're disappointed in certain sections, you don't come away being like, oh man, what a waste of my time. No, because the movie did have a lot of good to kind of contrast the bad. And when I say bad, it's more nitpicking on my part, because I wanted more character development, because I love character development in movies, because that really drives home the final act all the time. And when you don't have it and the final act comes and the stakes get upped, you know, the ante ups ante, it don't hit as hard. That's the problem. But I enjoyed it. How about you, man? I know
it's a 3.5 for me also.
Okay, cool.
I'm not gonna know. So I agree. Everything you have said, I agree with. Because I sat there and said to myself, let's not do the comparison. So I was able to enjoy the movie. So if you obviously watched this, everything got ruined for you. But hopefully, when you did watch the movie, you went with the same mindset that I did, where you're not going to do a comparison. You know, because once we were done, and I'm like, some of this stuff was not what I remembered. And I'm looking, and I'm like, well, you know what?
They're going to take liberties, yeah.
Well, here's the thing. The last time that somebody redid a movie close enough to the other one was Psycho. And everyone hated it.
I hated it.
So,
by the way,
Dauberman made a good choice on being a little bit more free on the changes he made, because he made his own Salem's Lot. No, it's not like the other one. And that's great. You have two versions. It's different when you have two versions of something instead of the same version. Because the thing is, if a movie that copies the other one, then you have two same versions. One is going to be beloved and one is going to be hated. When you have two movies that are not the same, but you have the same source, it's two separate materials, basically. And that's where this one stuck out. Again, if we would have got more character development, a lot more of Barlow, and if we would have gotten either the 2 parts or at least a 2.5 to 2 hours and 45 minutes, definitely not 3 movie, it would have been better.
Yeah, when we mentioned more on Barlow, I don't want like a whole flashback explaining to him from birth until now.
It doesn't. Just a little, just things in there.
A good example is we mentioned Demeter, right? They added enough context as to where the crates came from, the coffins, and where they're going and why. We got that. And there's another movie I saw. I don't know if you saw it. I forgot the fucking name. It's like it's a movie during World War II versus the Nazis. A bunch of people are stranded on a boat because their submarine got sunk by the Nazis, the Allied forces. They get picked up by a Nazi ship, but there's no one on that ship. What's on the ship though, because these Nazis were pillagers and they pillaged a bunch of like coffins and they were vampires, let's say. You probably saw it. It's not a bad movie. It's pretty good actually. But that movie, what I'm trying to say is, it went in and gave you enough backstory to the patriarch and the matriarch.
Flesh out the whole movie.
It was a wife and husband vampire and their daughter. Those characters gave you enough backstory without going too much into the history, just enough to understand. Okay, I get their motives. In this movie, we don't really get that. Okay, he wants to take Salem's Lot, right, and turn it into all vampires, but why? I don't understand. Like, and they try to when it's, oh, this whole town is dead, don't you know? That's what. No, that's not enough. That's the only gripe I have with this, other than the character development. If it had those 2 elements, this would be probably like a 4, you know. But not bad. It's still a good movie though. I mean, it's nitpicks. It's nitpicks. So
yeah, no, I definitely would recommend watching it if you haven't watched it yet.
She's laughing at Selena. What you fuck you laughing at? Adam, Joe loves words like pernicious. Yeah, Joe's like me. I love random weird words.
I love big words, like a lot of
pernicious. That was during our Brains and Blues, right? Pernicious. All right, here we go. Lynn's, I'd give it a 3.5. It is entertaining for what it is. However, it is slightly bland. I agree with you guys. The character development was really lacking. And that's a nice word, bland, because the characters did feel a little bland. Why? Because we don't know much about them. We got, like, Ben's parents were they were killed in a car accident, this automobile accident. But he's there to write a book, but a book about his life, about his parents, about the accident. We don't know. Like, give us some more, you know what I mean? Give us some more juice to that. It's like having a steak with no A1 sauce, and or it's just a steak with just dry. It's just, ooh, you know what I mean? It's a steak. It's a steak, but it could have been so much better, you know. So
It could have been. So I agree. Well,
yeah.
before I have you sign us out, next week, make sure to join us. We're going to be doing Krampus. I'm not going to lie. I have been enjoying the change that we've made on doing 3 corners where we just do it live. I'm really hoping that you and JR are liking not having to edit the show, but I'm enjoying the lives. It's a little bit more, it's fun. You know, it's like we're not sitting there.
When we fuck up, you see it as you saw at the beginning of the video.
and I fuck up a lot. Like, you guys have no idea how much Ricky edits me.
Yeah, that's all right.
As I do another little sip of my shot.
Oh,
that's
shit,
usually
should've
why
told
he
me,
has
man.
to. Oh no, I mean, I got
One last shot for the road.
one last one.
One last shot. Harbor Fiends.
But yeah, so next week, obviously,
Next week's Krampus. When is Nosferatu?
Nosferatu is going to be for January 2nd.
So all right. So I'm assuming after Krampus, we got. When is the Christmas break? We're not
End
gonna
of the
be
year. Well, we're doing end of the year on the 26th.
after Christmas. Okay.
Yep, after Christmas. So obviously, because it's live, so if things change, you know, life
Krampus.
comes into play. You know, we got the
Krampus,
holidays.
yes.
But
Oh,
for
that was good.
Krampus, it's going to be a full house.
Who we got? Who we got?
We
Who
got
coming?
Radar.
Radar the board. My man Radar.
Radar
Shout out to
joining
Radar.
us. Gilbert from the Attic Review.
The Attic, yo.
And
My
I
man
did-
Gilly. Shout out to Gilly.
Gilly, I
man.
know. Hopefully, Gilly will be, you know, like I said, things get busy. If they
Yeah,
don't show
it's
up,
the
guys,
holidays, and
the
yes,
holidays.
yes.
And
Hard subject to
Fourth
change.
Corner is supposed to be joining us also. So let's
Okay.
see. We'll see how this is going to play out because we might actually have one more. I'm not sure. It would be fun to see how I can handle what it would be 5 of you people.
Hey, listen,
But
if
we'll
anyone
see.
else wants to jump on you,
Well, I think Albert
we can handle
from
it.
Blood and Bruise said I'm going to check with him also.
Yeah, great
Yeah,
guy.
we're gonna
Shout
have a
out
full
to
house
Albert.
one because if you guys have not seen Krampus, you guys are totally missing out. It is probably
It's the best PG-13 horror movie, probably.
it's PG.
Oh,
Yes,
no, not of all time, because Monster Squad's probably.
it's
all
up
time.
there, but
yeah.
I mean it's got a stellar cast.
Bro, when I watched it again, I forgot Toni Collette.
Come
is in
on,
this
dude,
movie, bro.
like the whole cast, you know, Conchetta Farrell. Oh fuck, before she gets killed. But it's a great cast. If you have not seen it, make sure to
Hold on,
check
we
it
got
out.
One more, hold on.
Oh.
Just saw Krampus recently. I thought it was going to be a comedy in the beginning. Ended up pretty good. That's, you know what?
Everybody
Coming
like,
from P-Rock, that's good praise. Yes.
it is, and I've been telling you guys about it.
I'd also give this movie 3.5 as well for Salem's Lot 2020.
But when I
This
told
came
you
out
guys about
2024, right?
Krampus and you checked it out and you were like, I like this.
Listen,
Like,
I worked in retail right for a long time, and we during the holidays we always sold that fucking movie, and I always thought it was I thought it was a PG-13 like slog. You know, like, what the fuck?
no, man.
And then you said I think it was last year when we did our Christmas special. We're gonna talk about Krampus a little bit. Check it out. I'm like, no, really? All right, I'll do it for the channel. And I watched it. I'm like, God, dog, this like Krampus. I'll save it for the
Same,
live
yeah.
stream.
But yeah, so
Good movie.
next week that is our live stream. So make sure to join us on that one. End of the year, it will be on the 26th. The panel that we'll have, still fleshing it all out. But we're gonna discuss our. I don't know. I like to make it fun for everybody. So for right now, I'm asking everybody to tell me their favorite and least favorite. I would suggest you do your homework and have your second one because that might be a bonus question. So just prepare yourself. But yeah, so we're going to be doing end of the year. And then to kick it off, and again, I'll probably repeat this again because in case you didn't watch this episode and you watch the next one, I'll say it then. But then obviously we're going to kick off the fucking year with Nosferatu. One of the biggest
Can't wait.
ones that everybody is waiting for.
I can't wait for that.
So with that, thank you for joining us for this. I already discussed it with Rick. You know, he was the moderator for 3 Corners of Horror. And I said, I just can't sign us off the way you do, bro. So take us home.
With that being said, everyone, we all cheer for big bottles of beer. It's not a bottle, it's a cup. Oh, my Creepshow
It is a
cup, by
cup.
the way. Ooh, Creepshow. I love fucking. If you know me, you know I love fucking George Romero. Stephen King, come on. Anyway, with that being said, happy holidays, everyone. I hope you join us next week. And with that one, Stay good, stay healthy, stay sane, but most of all, stay scared. Joe, take us home, motherfucker.
Ta-ta for now.
And Joe doesn't know how to hit the button, so
I told you that my thing has that problem after the update.